All right. Let's see. Let me turn off the chat on YouTube real quick. Okay. What's that? Okay, almost there. There we go. I am pretty much picking up where I left off last night, which is looking at memory measurement and GitHub Actions. We figured out some stuff with GitHub Actions last night to be able to... Let me check the sound. Yeah, it looks like we have sound going into OBS. We should be good on the sound. We got some GitHub Actions worked out last night to be able to post comments on PRs automatically, so the action gets run automatically. We run some checks on the size of the files that get built from the code in the PR, and then post a comment with those sizes. One thing that we do still need to do, though, is the logic right now does only work for individual files, not packages, modules with multiple files, like a folder with multiple things in it, so we do need to do that. This file. Lib. Okay, so I think here, else print is directory. Like need to handle directory. And then get rid of build. No, I have build and measure. Let me choose a different one of these, like display text. That should be a module. I'll run this one. Mostly what I wanted to do is clone and build, but this will do that. Why does this not have run? Valid? We not loaded or something? Indexing? Okay, yeah, this is still going. Apparently that's stopping me from running for right now. I guess, hopefully. Okay, yeah, there we go. Cloning, building, doing some stuff, measuring some size. Load? Huh. How is that not how this one runs? Doesn't really have a name main. It says, where did it clone to though? Temp. And not here? Okay. Let's file exists. PyCharm is not showing it to me. That's inconvenient. Did it delete it? Did something delete him? Just fail? Well, I mean, why does it exist here? Stuff inside of it. Boy, that is weird. What is going on with that? No, I don't even know what to do. Weird. Difference. I mean, I guess I don't need it. I mean, I do kind of, though. I need to look in it to be able to, like, see what's inside of it, because we're going to have to write code that looks through it. I don't really want to do it all through the terminal. I'm so confused by this. I mean, is this breaking more things? What is this? Project? Git root, but no repositories were found. We just ignore it? Ignore it. Not try to do anything with Git on it. So basically we need to solve for multi-file ones. Kind of need to be able to see what's inside the folder while we write the code, because it's got to navigate down inside of it and like take a measurement of each file and add it all together. Guess I could do from the terminal, but there we go. Okay. It's weird. It is like the third time today that PyCharm has done something super weird to me. Let's close this one. Reloading. You actually ready to go or no? So another thing is this is still hard-coded. Well, the actions is where that needs to change, I guess. think I can't run it from... Sounds suspiciously like a cat getting into trouble. I can't run it from here. Needs to be side of this. Might be able to run it now that it's in there. Need to handle directory, okay. Okay. So we basically need to go inside the directory, which is this. We need to add up the sizes of all of these MPY files. So for file, hold on, I'll be back. Okay. This is in fact a cat being a good cat. Playing with a scratching thing. MPY file in, I guess, is it module or package? I should use the right terminology. Is it module? Module can contain... Which, okay, so it is a, packages is a folder package. So we're gonna say MPY file in package files. Well, no, it's not gonna be having a name though. It's gonna be os.lister, the directory, which will be in it. Wouldn't it be the only thing in there? Oh, okay. The other thing came from our script. That's right. Okay, we downloaded the bundle version. Right. Okay. So those won't be there when this runs. So it will be the first thing in there. So it's basically this file. Probably give it a name. We're going to go lister on the only directory that's inside of the place where we're at. We're going to loop over all the files, and then we're basically going to do what we did here for each one, but keep a running total. Total size equals 0. I don't know if they're floats. I guess they wouldn't be floats because it's in bytes. File stats. So we're not going to print yet. We need to compile everything first, and then we can print. We just want to add, so total size plus equals file stats dot size or whatever we accessed. Let's see, st size. Probably make sure that's the right thing. It's only one size thing, I guess. Total size plus equals size, so we're going to loop over that. Total size is going to build itself up. After we're done with that, then we're ready to print modified version total MPY files size total size. But we also need to do this, which will get weirder inside of here as well. We're going to go strings on the MPY file. We need to do something strings. Say y file dot place dot mpy Nothing, just remove the .mpy. That in the file name .text. I'll have strings in it. Actually, we could do it the same way. Let's do just one. Yeah, let's not make one for each. Back to this. Make the output. Get the stats. Total strings size. Total string size plus equals string st size. Whoa. Okay. Now we're actually just running both. Both summations. Let's say total string size. We don't need to call these anymore because we're actually just numbers now. And we can divide these. To handle directory. Did I not save? Oh, well, I'm editing the wrong one. Oh. I'm not editing the one I'm running, I guess. Let's put it that way. Didn't print anything. Oh, was I? Maybe I wasn't. Oh no, I was. This has got the totals. Oh. Okay, I'm in not. I wasn't. I was editing. Jeez, I need to stop doing it this way, probably. Such file or directory requirements. UI file. Let's get a look at our list of files. Maybe we're not in the right directory. Yeah. We need to be... we need to be in... How did we not end up inside the lib, though? Aren't we... Aren't we inside of lib? Does look like it's inside a lib. Okay. Okay, my problem is that these wouldn't exist. I need to delete these. These wouldn't be existing when this actually runs. Actually, we should be going just os dot changedir first one and then list current. There we go. Okay. Published version. Ah, okay. In this case, we're gonna go basically inside. See what is gonna be tough though is this isn't gonna work, right? We need to be doing multiple layers. There's some libraries that are gonna have multiple layers of folders. gracious, this cat. Okay. Turn those back out of there. Not a directory. Is there a Python helper module that would help walk? Yeah, there is. OS dot. Yeah, there is. Oh, I think it might be called os.walk. I'm not sure. Which is ultimately, I'm going to try to put that inside of here. Oh. Yeah. Something is way wrong though, because these are way big. Probably shouldn't be... I don't know what I should be doing. Something is wrong with the directory we're in though. Can file directory be accessed as JSON? I don't know about that. os.walk will give you like a list of lists or list of dictionaries or a dictionary of lists or something like that. That's relatively easy to go through. It's not quite JSON directly, but kind of works the same. My problem right now is I'm not targeting the right directory. Once we can target the right one, then I'll worry about looking inside of it and going down a deeper level. Somehow we messed up the one we're pointing at here. Is there more stuff in this? No. I don't get it, because this says current working directory and then dir path, which is what we passed here. And then lister is doing dir path, and we got sorry. Its current working directory is the right one. Lib Adafruit display text. Their path is // but once we start looking at files, we find things that are too far up. Oh. Oh, please don't. Okay, we're back to showing files. We're back to not showing files that do exist, which is actually really kind of annoying. I want to just keep working, but I also want to figure out why my editor is not actually showing me the right files. Well, the truth is I don't want to spend time doing that. I just want it to not be the case. Connection successful? Let me see. Yeah, it looks like we're back to green, at least on my end. I'm getting green screened on my head. I'm going to turn some lights off. Okay. Way darker now, but not really, actually. I feel like I'm in a much darker. Actually, kind of. It's getting later. Okay, so our problem is just we had extra files. I'm going to delete all those files. We can run it again, and then our size should be better. Yeah, that looks more like what we got the first time. I don't know if that's exact. It looks like it's going through the right files, so should be. Really wish we could get this to actually reload from disk. I don't know what repair IDE is, but that'd be nice. Trying to refresh indexable files. Maybe it's not completing. Yeah. Seems like this isn't completing. Trying refresh indexable files. This feels a little bit deja vu-y. I think there might have been like a... Oh, that's super bright. I think there's like a number of, it's like a consumable resource, the number of file watchers or something. There's somewhere I had to go change that, I think. Maybe I need to do that again. I don't know where it's at or what it's called. That's probably the case, though, because that does ring a bell. I do remember that. And closing PyCharm all the way, reopening it, made it work. Which would have, like, refreshed that resource, whatever it is, file watchers or something. Where on earth did I make that setting? Don't remember. So we really don't want to go this. Let's print walk. See what's there. I'll just return 0, 0 for now. Maybe like, can you RM multiple files? Can you just do commas or spaces or something? Or I guess I could do ampersand. By 0. Should probably catch that, I guess. In case the file size is 0. Oh, we didn't actually, right, it's a generator, not an object, so we need to actually loop it instead of just print it. I don't remember what the things inside of it are. Oh, these are back. IDE repair. Refresh indexable files was performed. Everything works now. IDE repair, huh? Okay. Maybe IDE repair. I mean, it took so long that it's kind of not a really viable option anyway, truthfully, though. But good to know that it will fix things. Like it's thinking. That's doing. Okay, so we have directories, which are // something, which is empty. Files, which are these. We should probably do a library that's more layers deep, like I'm pretty sure Portal Base is going to be this way. Portal Base. Well, I was wrong. Okay. Display layout definitely is. Huh? Broken one. I mean, I don't even know how long that took after I clicked it. It was several minutes, though, I'm pretty sure. Where live? Topic URL shows nothing live. I don't know what you mean topic URL shows nothing live. Where live? United States. Central time zone. Sometimes daylight saving time, sometimes not. Not sure what we're in right now. Wanted that to actually open to where I was, truthfully. Okay. So interesting. Okay, we got multiple things this time. Last time we actually topic oh. I don't have it anymore. Well, it'd be in run, I guess. But it's in run of the previous program, so yeah, I don't have it anymore. I think it's still working. On Twitch, topic URL? Title? Or mine in the title shows CircuitPython measuring MPY file size. I don't know if that's might mean a different thing than topic. I don't know what topic is for sure though, truthfully. Oh, where live, not where live. Sorry. I see. Oops. Thank you. Yeah. I am with you now. Ooh, back one. Back one? But we need to go delete that stuff. Maybe I should make it delete those things after it's done. Oops. Oh, okay. Lucky. Oh, this did get two things. Probably. Well, no, one of them is just the current working directory. It's got one thing. It's a tuple with all three of these values. string, an empty list, and a not empty list. But then this one, kidding me, where to go? Okay, I scrolled past it. This one got 3 things. First one is a tuple with dot slash. Oh, okay, a list with directories. Dot slash, then a list with directories. That was what was empty before, and then a list with files. Oh, okay, current directory, list of directories, list of files. Current directory from this list. List of directories, empty, list of files. Next current directory, again from this list. List of directories, empty, list of files. Okay, so we need to... These are, I guess, for level or like subdir object, tuple, subdir tuple. I don't know. But basically what we want to do is loop over all the files and then kind of like there we go. Back to green on my end. Probably will take a second, it might have to refresh. This thing finished again. See files for 5 minutes maybe. Oh, thank you. So we should loop over all of the files at the top level first. That's what this is. So for our MPUI file, we don't need to list. This is just going to be subdir tuple 2 for this list here. And next, so we will need to put the current directory in. File stats, this should say actually like fstring py file. Current directory, and then current file. This needs to be the same thing. Then we would loop over each one of those top level tuples. So the first one we would compile the size of this. The next time through we would compile the size of all of these. next time through we would compile the size of all of these. When we're done with all of that, we'd have our actual total. Thanks for the follow, Maestra007. Appreciate that. I think we're actually pretty close. Modifying the one inside play text. Let me piece this back out here since I've made a bunch of changes again. Okay. Slash? Okay, we need to... Boy, that's kind of wonky, isn't it? So, dot slash ends with a trailing slash, but dot slash layouts does not. Okay. So slash if subdir tuple current directory -1 isn't slash else empty. Testing an example code and I was missing libraries, so instead of using Circuit, I launched the Web UI Electron app, and it's nice when something you work on is at a stage where you can actually use it. Yeah, I'll totally agree with that. The first couple of times you get to use the thing that you built is definitely a super nice, rewarding feeling. Those cd commands, etc. you're doing, are those on REPL or locally? These are local. These are local on my Linux, inside my Linux terminal. Everything that I am doing here right now is all local on my PC. But like ultimately, the purpose of all of this stuff is to improve CircuitPython, which of course runs on the microcontrollers. I guess it didn't create the bundle stuff. I'm kind of surprised. Oh, wait, this is the right place. Okay. Oh. There we go. Okay. So one thing maybe we should do is like print each one as we go, at least once, to like make sure things look kind of correct for both, maybe. Okay, reload those things. They showed up there. I can actually just run this now. Should see each file as it goes. Cur file is init, size 0, string 0. Go inside of layouts. Cur file, page layout, 1745. I didn't print the percentages. That might have been a nice touch. Oh, I guess we should also check our verbose, huh? That would be good. I'm a complete noob trying to get a feel for Python. The correct book for my skill level doesn't seem to exist. I'm starting to start Python. Yeah, I don't necessarily know of any good books, unfortunately. Honestly, I don't know of great beginner Python resources, broadly speaking. Sure, there are good YouTube videos and things like that. You know, probably a decent place. I haven't used it specifically for Python, but maybe check out like I think Khan Academy probably has Python. Khan Academy. Or Code Academy? Am I imagining that? Is that a different thing? Python? No, this is HTML and JavaScript. Page Python programming. Oh, are they no longer free on Code Academy? Not be free anymore. Huh. Yeah. It says pro, maybe there are some that aren't pro. No. All levels? Oh. Free? Python for programmers. Probably not the best for a beginner though. Yeah, I don't have a great beginner resource. I don't really need a book anyway, except reference, because I know 2 to 3 other programming languages. Oh, and I'm paid for it. Oh, for Code Academy? If you do have Code Academy, I would check out this Learn Python 3 there. Beyond that, for references, I mean, I reference the docs online more than anything else, truthfully. Books are definitely handy if that's like your go-to workflow, if you're just really comfortable with grabbing a book off the shelf to look something up through it. For me, like a lot of times that will just be going to the Python docs and looking it up in there, or whatever, you know, it's related to if it's not a specific thing. But it can also be hard to know what you're looking for sometimes. Like it's tough to search online because you need the keyword, and if you don't know what the keyword is, then you can describe what you're thinking about, but not find it very easily sometimes. So book could definitely be better in that way sometimes. We got some extra printouts. Let's do the this percentage. Might as well while we're here. So that was file size over string file size times 100 something. I don't actually remember what this was. Go. I've run out of luck on our file refresher thing. Right, because I actually have another terminal here now. Division by 0. Oh, right. I guess we should. If try not to break mathematics, I guess. There we go. Okay, so NitPy 00 layouts, page layout 1745. Ooh, that's not quite right, is it? So it's missing the percent, but it's also did I do it backwards, or because it says 214? Ah, yeah, I did do it backwards. It should be strings divided by file size. Yeah. Seems like this is doing this thing automatically, this recovery thing that does work. Every few minutes it will let my file watchers work again, but it takes a few minutes. Oh, I see. No, you're paid to code, but I have a book sub, so I have access to a couple of Python books if I wanted one anyway. I see. I'm with you. So you're like, are you like a web developer or something? JavaScript, HTML, CSS, that type of thing? Or what's most of your coding experience? I should make an account to explain the joke. And explain the joke. An account. Discord? Or on Code Academy? Page layout, there we go, 46%. I've been seeing a lot pretty close to 50%. Which means there's good news and bad news. Like, we could potentially sacrifice more descriptive names for space in some of these cases. If we could get it down to like 40 or 30% for the majority of libraries, that would probably free up a fair amount of space across the whole bundle at least, which is a weird way to think about it, but on average, the given project would use up a little bit less RAM. So we're getting these for individual files now. Grid layout, init, this one was 0 again. Tab layout, 61%, that one's particularly egregious. And now we go over to widgets. Icon animated, 63%. 45% for widget, 56% for control. Cartesian, flip, icon widget. These do look all pretty much reasonable to me, I think. I don't see anything that's like way out of the realm of making sense as far as like the number of bytes and stuff. About 234K on these files sounds about right to me. And then our total we ended up with was 31K for all the MPY files, 17K for all of the strings, which was 55%. And if we open this, and it shows us the things inside of it. Maybe this is not PyCharm, but actually my computer's ability to show file directories. Something. So delete this, delete this, delete this, select all of these. 14 items totaling 31.9 kilobytes. I got 31,872 bytes, so it looks like our math is agreeing, at least roughly speaking, with my OS file system measuring thing. 31 point, got rounded up to 9, 31.9K. Let's see here. Backend developer, let me catch up here. Backend developer, C#, ASP.NET, MS SQL, PHP, and C++. Discord thinks it's a link. Twitch thinks it's a link. Oh, I see the bit in the middle there. Yeah. It's no worries. Interesting. Okay, so you're branching into the world of Python. Are you interested in using Python for backend web frameworks like Django and I don't know, Falcon? There's a couple other Python web frameworks, or are you more interested in different stuff with Python like microcontrollers or data science or machine learning or something? So this should still work on display text as well. And the individual files have their own separate branch of the if, so those definitely should still work. Display text we should test again though. We definitely want to make sure we didn't break the single layer packages by making the multi-layer ones work. I wonder if we're just freaking it out by having the bundle inside of here. Because I guess it would be like indexing every time this entire bundle, which is probably going to take a while and use up a lot of resources. Let's see. Nah, for CircuitPython, I had first-gen microcontrollers like Arduino and upgraded to 2020 stuff recently. And Arduino, even the IDE language seems obsolete, and with CircuitPython I can write libraries in real C to use. Yeah, I will say if you do already know C, if you're comfortable with C, you can get a lot done with CircuitPython since you have the ability to extend it and expand upon what's there. So that's definitely pretty cool. And then I'm definitely with you on the Arduino stuff. Like I never got too far into Arduino. I've done some basic stuff with Arduino, but the truth is it never really held my attention because I don't like to fight my tools, as is probably apparent. I don't know if you were here earlier. I was kind of frustrated at my IDE. I still am because it's not showing me the files correctly. Um, I easily lose motivation to work on a project if I'm spending too much time fighting my tools. And I found the few times that I dove into Arduino land, I was starting to spend a bunch of time fighting the tools, fighting the IDE. Like it's not seeing my device, or it saw my device, but the timing didn't work right, and so programming failed, or the timing worked, but the program got written, and then there was some archaic error that I couldn't understand. I found myself fighting the IDE a lot, and CircuitPython, once I found it, really changed that whole paradigm because it's really, really uncommon that it breaks in a way that doesn't raise a pretty helpful exception that tells you what the problem is. It doesn't tend to like crash and burn and you just can't do anything with it. Kind of prints out, if it has a display, it'll print out its error on the display. Just super nice. And then the main thing that really hooked me into CircuitPython, I will say, is the iteration loop. Being able to write your code and save it and have it run automatically, being able to iterate on a project like that is so fast and just intrinsically pleasing to me, I guess. That just took off like a rocket. Yeah, it's nice that the microcontrollers just show up as a drive. Yep, 100% agreed. Gonna have to install drivers at first like Arduino and update my board's URL. Yeah, 100% agreed on all of that stuff. The REPL seems very nice. No need to have a full sketch to just test if it works. Yep. Yep, all super nice stuff. So we're getting our sizes correctly at this point, and getting them returned back for the full directory. One thing we're still not doing, though, is the actual current version, published version. So we should be ending up inside of lib, inside of the bundle. The good news is we have this as a directory now. If we can point it to the right thing, it should just give us back the values we want. When I work on PC side Python, I save and forget that the code doesn't auto restart, so it takes a few seconds to go. Yeah, I do have that sometimes. I do a lot of work on like Django projects, and so saving on the Python side does actually restart the server when you're using the development server, but you do still have to refresh the page. Although Node.js and a couple other systems, they have it set where the page automatically refreshes too, which is kind of cool. So we know that it's not a single file, so we need to basically go package name is going to be single file, but we're going to replace the .mpy with just blank. So that should get us to the package name. We can go inside of it. os.chdir inside package name. And then just run our func. And I think, right? Is that all we gotta do? Pretty sweet. Verbose again? Yeah, let's do verbose. Oh, is this printed already? Yeah, this is already printed, published version. We don't need that. I actually edited the top one now. Yeah, you drive nicely. I'm gonna make a book out of all of these one day. Write this, but don't add it. That's not what we want. Why don't we actually, let's bring this here, and we should probably just disconnect from that. No. 10 minutes? We were connected for way longer than 10 minutes. Oh. That was a different terminal? I don't know, that was weird. Something I'm a bit puzzled about is, can you have breakpoints to live debug the code when it's running on the microcontroller and possibly watch variables? And can you simulate the program without a microcontroller? Good questions. The first one is a no. I don't believe, at least, that we have support for breakpoints. Maybe look into MicroPython. There might be some support on that side. I'm not actually sure yet. I tend to do a lot of print debugging. As you can, in fact, probably see by my editor here, I tend to just print stuff out rather than doing... I never got proficient at using a debugger and looking at variables. I always just print my variables out. And I will say Scott, the lead developer of CircuitPython, tends to be pretty similar. He's also a print debugger. So I don't know that kind of the primary core team will focus too much effort into that. So it will probably take a community member or somebody who's interested in implementing the breakpoint thing to make that work. And I have no idea how hard it would be or anything like that. The next question, you said simulate the program without the microcontroller. So there is a project called Wowkwi. Wowkwi? Wowkwi? I don't know the name of it. Wowkwi? Wowkwi. W-O-K-W-I. This project essentially is a microcontroller emulator inside the browser, and one of the things you can emulate is MicroPython on a Raspberry Pi Pico. Well, this is Arduino on a Raspberry Pi Pico. We want, I guess, MicroPython on a Pi Pico. So this is not CircuitPython. It is MicroPython, but it's pretty close to what you're asking. And I think this is probably the closest project that I'm aware of to emulating CircuitPython devices inside of a PC. I think this is all inside of JavaScript, if I understand correctly. That seems insane to me that a person figured out how to like emulate this whole hardware inside JavaScript, but I think that's what's going on here. I know it supports GCC's GDB, but I don't really like that because I'll need expensive TFT to debug while it's running. Yeah, the debugging, once you get to debugging the core, it is quite the process. Yeah, you need like pretty specialized GDB or something. You need the right connections. You need to make the right build and stuff. I will say, once you do get down to that level of it, it does get a little more challenging. Let's see. Debuggers are for debugging the C code of CircuitPython. Oh, yeah. I don't know how you open it from the main page. Wowkey. Oh, there is a CircuitPython now. Okay, nice. Let me copy that link over. Wowkey for CircuitPython, Raspberry Pi. So there is a CircuitPython one, actually. So you can, I mean, that's a limited scope, right? It's that one microcontroller, the Raspberry Pi Pico. But that's the farthest along of anything that I'm aware of as far as like emulating the device on a PC. Okay, where did we end up here? So I pasted this in we should be getting, yeah, single MPY file not found. We're ready to try this. We'll need to probably delete some stuff. Oh, there's actually no stuff there. Okay, so we can maybe just run it. There we go. Okay, so we got published version. It's still verbose, so it's printing a lot of stuff. Here's our published version. The final report, though, was 13.804. Oh, this is bitmap. This is display text. Oh, well, that's interesting. Oh, I think I didn't change this. This is still hard-coded. We need to fix this. Well, keep saying that. I guess it's on the actions to pass the correct thing to this. But we did not pass the correct thing to it this time. Display layout. This is what we would need. Means we need to reload and do that again. So let's go back here. There we go. Marximus Maximus raiding with Party 01. Appreciate that, my friend. Thanks for the raid. How was your stream? Hope you had a nice time. Hey, yo, what you working on today? We are working on the large scope of the world that we're looking at is CircuitPython. Specifically today, what I'm working on are some utilities that will run automatically via GitHub Actions that will measure the size of our libraries. Even more hyper-specifically, I'm working on measuring the size of libraries that are folders, that are not a single file. So these things listed right here are a CircuitPython library. This happens to be the display.io layout library. It is a package, so it has a Python code file in it, and then it has, in this case, 2 directories, and each of these directories also have Python code files inside of those. So I am working on a way to measure the size of the built versions of these files. These ones are the plain text Python files, but we have a process that builds them into compiled MPY files. I'm trying to measure the size of those so that we can output it in our actions to just make it easier to understand what the effect that different changes will have on the size of our libraries and how much RAM they will use on the microcontrollers. If you're brand new to any of this stuff and like that totally doesn't make any sense to you, I can give you a higher level understanding. Like if you don't know what CircuitPython is, then that's probably going to be kind of a tough thing to understand. I'm happy to expand out a bit and tell you more like what CircuitPython is as a project, but that's what we're plugging away at today. Oh dang, that's useful. Yeah, hopefully it's going to make it much easier for us to gauge like when libraries are getting too big and when they need to be broken apart into smaller ones, which changes we want to include in the main library versus breaking out to a different one. So I think we should be ready to just run this again, and we should get better numbers from the second half. There we go. That does, I think, is the same, right? Which in this case, we don't have any changes, so it would make sense if we got the same. So here's published version. Our total was 31836, 17610. Our modified version in this case should be the same. And so that's the thing, we're trying to compare the modified version from the PR with the current version, the one that's published. As for my stream, bit quiet today. Got more unit tests written for my project. Batteries forking included. Oh, nice. Batteries forking included. What, if you don't mind me asking, can you tell me just a little bit about like what is that project for? What do you do with it? That sounds pretty cool. I'm pretty bad about writing unit tests, although I am trying to be better about it, and I'm working on a larger scope idea. This will definitely take a lot longer, but working on the idea of automated testing on devices, on microcontrollers, which is brings a lot of its own challenges, but think we'll get a lot of benefit out of it if we can get there. So we are slightly different, actually. I got 31872 versus 31836. 17631 versus 17610. What could the difference be? Because we just cloned this earlier. It's not like the library could have changed. Unit tests are difficult when it's a visual or electrical signal thing. Yeah, definitely true. Someday we'll use it to run the tests in CI. Yeah, I would like that too, actually. Neradoc over on the Discord raises the idea using Wowkui basically for our CI tests. Using the emulator would be super cool as well, because that removes a bunch of the complexity of like actually communicating with the devices and stuff. Using it to assess memory by examining heap in real time is something I'd like to see. Yeah, that'd be super nice. Especially if we could get those graphs, kind of like how the one Scott used to draw from the core. I don't know exactly how he was making those. In gaming companies, they have people decide to human unit tests to see if it looks good, but can't automate them. I expect some microcontroller unit tests to be along the line of does it looks good. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and I will say too, like, we are aiming for good enough, right? There are situations where things are not as perfect as they could be, but mostly what we want is good enough that brand new users can use it, play with it, build projects with it, have fun with it. It's okay if we don't necessarily go the last, the last couple inches of the mile, so to speak, right? Like, we don't have to cross the finish line all the way. We just need to get it to the point where the average person can use it and have fun with it. So there will always be room for more testing, but there's also the case for, like, get it good enough and then add features that add new possibilities and projects and stuff to it. It is so weird. I couldn't even imagine what the difference might be. So our percentage came out pretty close to the same. 1736. Did we add the exact same amount? So 17631. Did we add 21 bytes? 17631. That's 21 bytes. Did we have 857? No. 872. We had 21 bytes of strings extra. And then we had about 36 bytes. The MPY file size. What could that be from? Pop out the chat here. Batteries forking included is intended to be a single command installer for either user or dev environment. Typically for any Git repo, although it could be for anything. It installs a segregated environment for a project or app. Basically, it removes the need for pages of here's how to set up this software or dev environment and not have to deal with compiling, installing from source dependencies. I will say, you're speaking my language. I definitely like that idea. That sounds pretty awesome to me. Sometimes I do get frustrated by how much time it takes to set up an environment for something. It's open source software, and on my GitHub at Maximus Maximus, batteries forking included. Right now it's primarily Python targeted, but that's just the starting point. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing. I will definitely check that out. Here, let me grab this bit of it here, and I'll pop a browser tab open with it. So it's kind of like solving a similar kind of problem as containerization, Docker and stuff like that. Although I'll say I don't find Docker and things particularly easy to use, so I'm definitely happy that folks are working on other ways to do that. Oh, I see. Okay, so it's like kind of if you use one of these large libraries, it's going to help you with that kind of stuff as well. Anaconda. Nice. Cool. Yeah, I love the idea of being able to share a text thing or something like really basic, but it allows someone to get their environment set up to the same spot as you. That's a super helpful utility. Docs still need work since it's not even really in beta yet. It's on the metal containers. It's on the metal containers. The first 90% of the code accounts for the first 90% of the development time. The remaining 10% of the code for the other 90% of the development time. Tom Cargill. That's a good quote. I like that. I hadn't heard that before, but definitely agree with that. You can it's easy sometimes to get sucked into working on that perfection, like chasing that last 5 or 10% at the expense of the first 80 of a different problem, of a different feature. It's a balance too, though, right? Because like there are times where you do need to get that perfection. So it's tough. It's definitely tough. So I don't know about the difference. We're not that different. I mean, I wish we were the same. You know, one thing we could do is compare the strings files, I guess. Maybe that'll give us a clue as to what could be different, I guess, maybe. So, because we would be inside here, you'd have strings output here. New window. This was 1.4K. Oh, but the problem is, no, yeah, see, that's not gonna work because we're deleting it each file we do, I think. I mean, I guess we could check on the last file, I suppose. $1.4K. I think it's the same. Yeah. Um, okay, so when we generate the strings, we could use this one. I was actually reading about this earlier, and I anticipated using this to solve this, but I didn't end up using it. Also planning to allow it to like deal with setting up Docker and such for an app for the user as part of the install, because, well, frankly, doing that if you've never done it before basically sucks. Yeah, I'm with you there. I am your target audience for sure, because the few times I have tried to do it, I hated it, and I did not succeed at getting everything set up. As far as like getting Docker loaded and running the same stuff that was from the container. Isn't it 80-20-20-80 Partout law? Yeah, the numbers I think are all open for interpretation, but the idea the core idea kind of remains the same. I know, I think Tim Ferriss also touts like 80/20 terminology as well. Strings output, let's say totaled strings output. I don't know, I mean, I assume that's not where it came from, but I think that's one of the places I've heard talk about 80/20. But yeah, I don't necessarily mean the exact percentage, just generally the idea of like the majority and the minority, the small portion remaining. Generally, those concepts are kind of how I think about it, not so much the exact percents. So I'm pretty sure this will create the file the first time and then just keep adding more strings to it. So then I think we could look at that file, theoretically try to find the difference. Yeah, there we go. So total strings output 17.6. Let's close this, I guess. Go in the bundle. $17.6. Ah, I see it already. See it? There's at least that. You know what we should use is meld. So we have a number difference there. We have a version difference there. Seems like we have a couple of these where it's like a percent versus an ampersand. But they also... Oh, no, okay, yeah, they're percents in the left side, they're ampersands in the right side. I will say I'm not sure which one of these is which, truthfully. Math. That's odd. I mean, I assume that's from import math, but why would that not exist in one of these? Got another one of those things, another number for versions. Yeah, honestly, this looks like mostly numbers for versions. I assume that's what this is. And then the 00 auto thing, that's definitely a version. Lots of these ampersands to percents. Here's another version. Another version. Yeah. So, basically, yeah. There's always going to be a little bit of a difference. Because it looks like the published versions end up with different stuff in them. I don't know which one was bigger. So this was published and it was 836. This was built, modified, and it was 872. So the published version is actually slightly smaller than the version that you get if you actually build it. Which is weird though, because the published version is just built in a container somewhere with the same command, I thought. So why would it be different? The only... I don't know, actually. Why would it be different? I don't know. Weird. This is probably the strangest one to me, is math. The versions, this kind of makes sense, I guess. I think maybe the versions do exist in one of these, but not the other one. You know, it's weird we have the real version here and the dummy version here. I don't know why this changed to SG, but... Math. This one just seems totally out of left field. I don't have any idea why that would be needed in one and not the other. The local build might have the longer version strings and repeated due to the auto. Yeah, I think that it does have something to do with the way it's like replacing those auto things. Yeah, it like replaces... Oh, actually, this has an SG. It's not changing it to an SG. I see, okay. It's actually just removing this thing. So I guess these are probably one-for-one trades. They're just not showing the exact same place where they're at. This is a version, and this is a version. It's just this one's placeholder, and this one's real. And we got our math, and then we got a couple of, like, one character changes to another character for some reason. Ampersands to percents. I think there was a hashtag somewhere. Or a hashtag? Yeah. Oh no, that's just another version, actually. Okay. It's pretty close. Close enough, though. Okay, so I am gonna... Let's see. I'm gonna... take that, copy it up to here. Push this, and I think I'm gonna wrap it up for tonight. Let's see, it's in the left, just saw it fly by. Yeah, the math, yeah, I did see that math in there. I have no idea why it would be in one and not the other. That part is extra strange to me, but I did see it in there. In reality, our galaxy will collide with another around 100 billion years. I'll be gone by then, probably. Businesses I've worked at are good with 20% of the time, goes up to 80%, but usually 20% left. As you get closer to 95, it gets more and exponential. The reality is 100% of the project can't be done before the death of the universe, no matter what project. Yeah, that's probably true. We won't check in this. This is like in a sub repo. I don't even really want it to be part of ours, but we will check in this. I tried to use this thing. I didn't get very far on this. Paul Cutler pointed this thing out to me the other day, and it seemed interesting, but I think there's some work to do if we wanted to use it with CircuitPython. We'd have to change some stuff. But it's a microcontroller thing. It's like a library that lets you write code to interact with a microcontroller, specifically a MicroPython microcontroller. So you write CPython code that runs on your computer, but individual functions within your CPython code, these have this annotation on them that makes them into a device task that you can actually, when it runs on the device through the REPL. So this is actually a really fascinating idea, being able to write CPython code that essentially intermixes with microcontroller code. I tried this out the other day, and what I found, though, was that there are differences between MicroPython and CircuitPython that cause it not to work. Basically, it's trying to import a few things that don't exist in CircuitPython land. And I didn't dig any farther than that, so I don't know if it's just like you could take those imports out or something and then it would work, or if it needs more, probably something more in-depth, I would assume. But if we were to somehow get this to work with CircuitPython, I think this would be super cool on the topic of automated testing, like on-device testing, because we could write our CPython code that carries out our on-device stuff, which would be really nice. Because it's kind of like, I took a stab at this the other night with these things, and I ended up with code that's just like, let me see, I have that code. Get RAM size. Where's device RAM check? Okay, I ended up with this basically, where I was writing CPython code and I had this ugly CircuitPython inside of it with these manual carriage returns at the end of every line. If we could use something like this, then I could have like legit Python code that's not just a string with weird carriage returns. It could be subject to black and Pylint and all of that stuff, same as the outer project, which would be super cool, I think. That would be really rad for automated testing, so you don't have to like install and run PyTest on the microcontroller. Yeah, this would let you kind of like run your own tests and get results back from them, and then you could do the PyTest level assertions and stuff in this CPython script that interact with CircuitPython, so it'd be super cool. All right, I think I am gonna head out for now. Let me go ahead and push what I have working on package libraries instead of single file. So let's push that. I will find somebody to raid. We got a couple folks over on Twitch, so I'll find somebody to raid. I appreciate the raid coming in as well, so I definitely want to pass that along. Thanks again, by the way, for the raid, Maximus. Definitely appreciate that. Let's see, who do we want to raid tonight? See what we got going over on Twitch land this evening. We'll look on Go programming, so usually find the categories like this. What is it called? I don't even know. What's my own category called? Are you serious? We're in game development. That's not a good sign, right? Okay, who do we got? So there's Learn with Leon is on. He's always got a lot of folks watching. CMD Griffing. Let's see if we can find somebody on the smaller side. Do we have any Python stuff? Python? 35 viewers. I'll get a job at Google, Leak Code, Tech News, Data Science, News. The Angel? Quantifier, Deviant, Countastic. This one is about English, maybe? I like Django stuff though. Lower energy, low progress web coding stream. All progress is good progress. Looking like probably Django or some kind of templating engine. Yeah, this will be good. Let's go here. Voxel. So yeah, thanks for watching my stream. Stick around and watch what this person's working on if you'd like. Looks like web development stuff. I don't know them, so fair warning, it may be adult content. I have no idea really what the content is going to be like. They look pretty chill to me, so yeah, thanks for hanging out for tonight. Thanks to all the new folks that we got. And yeah, be sure to check in on Friday for CircuitPython Day festivities. That's probably the next time I'll see folks on stream, so if you're interested, follow me for that. And we'll figure out, let's go raid. Pick a channel, this one. Start the raid. Wait for the thing to count down.